All right, Orlando, it's been great chatting with you so far this afternoon. We briefly touched base as far as the job itself, which is the bidding coordinator, the duties that it entails. Orlando, I have your resume pulled up here, which is extensive. Kind of touching base on your resume itself. You worked in customer service. You worked as an internal auditor. You
Mhm.
worked as a compliance administrator up until your role now. Now, Orlando, I would love for you to kind of give me a rundown as far as your professional experience, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, as you can see, I'm not a kid. I'm about to turn 50. So yeah, it's been quite a run. So I did started my professional life in the customer service side. Then I moved into internal audit. I did that in Puerto Rico for 5 years. Then I moved to the States, to Orlando. I moved here because it was the only city that I could really pronounce. Um, then I started working at the airport also as an internal auditor. And then after 5 years, they moved me to do small business development. And the role was a small business compliance administrator. Now, that's the role that's really pertaining to the bid process. As, uh, as part of our role was to place small business participation requirements on almost every contract. So every time a contract was submitted, we had to go through the entire process from not only developing the requirements, but also from there all the way to final awarding of the contract. And we will have looked we looked at everything from pricing, whether they meet the minimum requirements, if it is an RFP, what are the other things that they can bring into the table, which is not just based on value, is also is based on what they're bringing in. So we had the opportunity to look at everything at the entire process. It was mainly on the ensuring small business participation, but I had the opportunity to also work on the uh, uh, finance side, insurance side, and all other requirements.
That sounds perfect. So, as far as your bidding experience, you handled more of the incoming request for the bidding, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And did you handle that from the beginning to the end?
It wasn't my role. I was part of the team that was doing the entire process. But yes, we would work together as a team from beginning to end. That's normally part of the purchasing. Remember, because I used to work for the airport, so it's a much larger organization than this company. But you had a purchasing department, and they would be the one that would handle the entire process. But I was part of the team.
Okay, perfect. And with that, how did you ensure that all the bid documentation is accurate and free from errors? We know that, it's very sensitive with entering data with the bid. So how did you ensure that all the bidding documentation is accurate and had no errors?
To be honest, we would go line item by line item. Actually, one example that I have is um, on that particular project, you had the square footage, the amount for square footage, then for the entire area, then for the entire section. So you would go from $1 all the way to 43,000. But the company, they did it the other way around. They went from 40,000 and they worked their way back. When
Mhm.
they did that, the the initial rate number that they were given, they put the decimal point in the wrong area. So when you work that out from beginning to end, it threw them off at the end. So
Mhm.
yeah, we would have to look, and they were even they if they would have been the winner of the bid, but because of that little mistake, yeah, they lost it. So yeah, as part of what we did, we would look at all of that. Uh, uh,
Mhm.
even the requirements, even insurance, and since in this project you had a prime and a sub vendor, I would call each subcontractor and say, "Hey, are you sure that you can do this? Tell me more about yourself. Tell me what are your qualifications. Can you handle this kind of work? Do you have the personnel? Do you have the equipment?" So we will look at all that to ensure that it is a legitimate and yes, we try to look for the low bid, but you also want to make sure that they do perform, because
That's
sometimes
right.
you just spend more money going back and repeating the entire thing if you don't do it in the beginning. So
Absolutely. And that was a great example. It wasn't a great situation, I'm sure, at that moment, but that was a great example as to how, the smallest error can make the biggest impact, especially when it comes to
exactly.
bidding documentation. So I thank you for that example. Orlando, what kind of system did you utilize when you were, utilizing, or when you were entering bidding information? What system were you doing for the bid management?
You would think that the authority would be big in those things, but no, we will come down to just plain Excel.
Yeah.
Just plain Excel. That's all we did. I would have to put everything down. I would make my own chart, and this time this equals this. Add everything up at the end. Multiply that by 3 years, or depending if there is an escalation clause. So yeah, we would look at everything, and I would have to do. I actually had to do everything myself because everybody was kind of like they were very they wanted to safeguard their little things, so
Okay.
they would do their own worksheet, but I had to do my own just to
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and a lot of times for like the bidding and the documentation and whatnot, it is used via Excel. So it's good that you have that experience itself with
Mhm.
navigating through Excel. Orlando, when are you looking to start a new role?
When
Yes,
I did put down like in 2 weeks,
in two
just
weeks.
that way I get everything set up on what I'm doing, and so yeah, 2 weeks maximum. If there's a need for me to come in a little bit earlier, I can work something out.
That
But yeah,
sounds.
yeah.
Well, perfect, Orlando. I'm going to stop the actual interview now. It's been truly lovely speaking with you and getting to know you a bit further, your professional skills. I'm going to stop the recording once again, and then don't hang up on me. I want to continue chatting with you.
All right.
Thank you.